感じは思いました。
I knew that there was a lot of nature, a lot of wildlife. So to be able to be here, in the nature, in the countryside, was something that I was looking forward to and something that was great to experience this week.
She stands just 4'11", and in golf, most people assume someone that small could never have real power. From the start, she was written off. Experts said she lacked strength. Skeptics claimed she'd never keep up with the elite, and the golf establishment dismissed her dominance in Japan as second-tier success. But when 2025 arrived, she shattered every assumption they made about her. She stepped onto the LPGA Tour and blew the narrative wide open, winning twice, including a major title. More than $3.3 million earned, ranked 6th in the world, leading the rookie race and already pushing for Player of the Year, all in her very first season. This is the rise of Miyu Yamashita, the 2025 AIG Women's Open champion.
Well, that final putt, when that putt dropped, it was almost like all the hard work I put into coming to this point just came out at the same time, and it was quite overwhelming, but just so appreciative that so many people stayed and so many people were supporting me and helped celebrate the moment, and it was really, really magical.
Yeah.
She may be small, but Miyu Yamashita proved early that heart, precision, and pure determination can overpower size every single time. She went from dominating Japan's courses to shaking up the entire global stage, from being overlooked to becoming impossible to ignore. Even now, people in the golf world are still trying to understand how they missed her rise. This is the beginning of the Giant Slayer story. Before she ever stunned the LPGA audience, Miyu was already a star in Japan. The problem? The rest of the world simply wasn't watching, and that was their first major miscalculation. Born on August 12, 2001 in Nagawa, Osaka, she picked up her first golf club at just 5 years old. What started as childhood curiosity quickly turned into the obsession that shaped her future. By 19, when she turned pro in 2020, she was already considered one of Japan's brightest young talents. Her first season on the JLPGA wasn't jaw-dropping, but it was exactly what she needed: making cuts, learning the grind, and figuring out how to survive the pressure of pro golf. Then 2021 arrived, and everything shifted. At the KKT Cup Vontaline Ladies Open, she captured her first professional win, finishing 14 under par. A loud announcement that she wasn't just another rookie, but that was only the warm-up. 2022 became the year she truly erupted. 5 victories on one of the toughest women's tours on the planet. She topped the money list with more than 235 million yen, became the youngest Mercedes Award winner ever, owned the lowest scoring average, and stacked 21 top 10 finishes. Then came the jaw-dropping moment, shooting a 60, the first in JLPGA history. It didn't just set records, it stamped her as a generational talent. Her dominance rolled straight into 2023, adding more titles, more accolades, and back-to-back Player of the Year awards that crowned her the undisputed queen of Japanese golf.
I understand that Miyu means I have a beautiful dream, so could I just ask if winning the Women's Open was part of that dream?
By the time the 2024 season wrapped up, Miyu Yamashita had turned Japan's LPGA Tour into her playground, 13 titles in total, all before earning her full LPGA card. What made her stand out wasn't just how much she won, but how she did it. Back in 2023, she led every player on the Japanese tour with an unreal 88.33% par save rate. When others collapsed under pressure, she found another level. 17 eagles that year made one thing clear: she wasn't waiting for luck. She was building greatness, shot by shot. Still, outside Japan, her name barely made headlines. The JLPGA is fiercely competitive, but it doesn't get the same global spotlight. While Miyu dominated one of the hardest tours in the world, most Western golf fans had no idea who she was. That silence was about to turn into shock. When December rolled around, all eyes turned to Mobile, Alabama for the LPGA's final qualifying tournament, Q School. It's golf's biggest pressure test, where hundreds of players fight for just a handful of spots. For most, it's a nightmare. For Miyu, it became a showcase. She crushed the field, finishing 27 under par to claim medalist honors. From the opening tee to the final green, she made sure her arrival on the LPGA Tour would be impossible to ignore. Even then, the experts doubted her. She's good in Japan, they said. Let's see what happens when she plays against the best. That arrogance only fueled her determination. Her 2025 season started steady cut after cut, top 10 after top 10, but no trophy yet. People began whispering that she might need more time. Then came August, and with it the AIG Women's Open at Royal Porthcawl in Wales, one of golf's biggest and most unforgiving stages. On Friday morning of round 2, Miyu went off, shooting a blistering 7 under 65 that rocketed her to the top of the leaderboard. Once she claimed the lead, she never let it go, holding her ground with ice-cold precision through every hole that followed.
All right, I am here with the 2025 AIG Women's Open champion, Miyu Yamashita. How amazing was that moment? I mean, what a day for you. You've led multiple rounds. Just talk me through the day and how excited you are to call yourself a major champion.
Majors always find a way to bring chaos, and this one was no exception. England's own Charlie Hull came alive on Sunday, feeding off the deafening energy of her home crowd. Hole by hole, she began slicing into Miyu's lead, drawing closer until the tension felt thick enough to cut. But while the pressure broke others, Miyu had lived through storms before. Her years dominating Japan's toughest courses had carved a calm few players could match. Then came the turning point. Hull's drive on the 16th found the bunker, and just like that, bogey. Another stumble at 17, and her furious comeback started to unravel. Miyu, unshaken, stayed locked in. A gutsy par save on the 14th had already shown what kind of champion she was, composed, precise, and ice-cold under fire. As she walked the 18th fairway, she knew exactly what had to be done. Her tee shot drifted into the rough, but instead of chasing glory, she played it smart, laid up, chipped safe, and rolled 2 calm putts to seal it. When the final stroke dropped, it was official. 11 under par, 2 shots clear of Hull and Japan's Minami Katsu. At just 24 in her first full LPGA season, Miyu Yamashita stood atop the golf world as the newest major champion. The crowd erupted. The interview that followed was pure emotion. Through her interpreter, she struggled to hold back tears, saying, "To win such a historic event in front of these incredible fans means everything." That win placed her in rare company, only the 3rd Japanese woman ever to lift the Women's Open trophy. One Sunday, one title, one unforgettable performance. Suddenly, everyone wanted to know how the 4'11 giant slayer had stayed hidden in plain sight for so long.
Obviously, the conditions do dictate how you can score on a golf course and make a big difference. So on that day, to be able to post such a good score was something that was fantastic.
Her major win didn't just earn applause, it sent a shockwave through the entire golf world. Overnight, Miyu's global ranking surged, pushing her into the upper tier of the sport. The critics who once doubted whether she could handle the LPGA suddenly had nothing left to say. For most rookies, winning a major would be the dream ending to a season, a bow on a promising career. But Miyu wasn't finished. That moment was only the beginning. To understand how insane her first season truly was, you have to break down the numbers. 21 events played, 19 cuts made, a 90.5% cut rate that even veterans envy, 11 top 10 finishes, more than half her tournaments, and 16 top 25 finishes, 2 wins, the AIG Women's Open and the Maybank Championship. One was a major. The other was a comeback so dramatic it instantly became one of the season's defining moments. Financially, she was just as dominant. Her earnings skyrocketed to $30,334, placing her 3rd on the LPGA money list, behind only Mia Lee at $3.8 million and Atthaya Thitikul at $3.5 million. And yes, this was still her rookie season. In the world rankings, she climbed to number 6. She held a massive lead in the Rookie of the Year race and was chasing Thitikul once again in the Player of the Year standings. Her Maybank win alone earned her 500 CME Globe points and secured her spot in the season-ending CME Group Tour Championship. That victory also tied her for the 2nd largest final round comeback since 1980, erasing an 8-shot deficit and turning it into triumph. By the time the season reached its final stretch, she had collected 15 career victories across the LPGA and JLPGA tours, before even turning 25. And the wildest part? These weren't just impressive stats. They were proof that Miyu Yamashita wasn't simply having a good rookie year, she was redefining what a rookie season could be. Despite everything she's accomplished, Miyu still walks onto every course as one of the smallest players on tour, just 4 feet 11 inches tall. In a sport that worships distance, she's often giving up serious yards off the tee to her competition, but that hasn't stopped her from outplaying nearly all of them. Her secret? Precision, patience, and a mental edge carved from years of thriving under pressure in Japan. While others rely on brute power, Miyu breaks courses down piece by piece, turning every hole into a puzzle she already knows how to solve. Her Spider Tour X putter has been her most dangerous weapon, deadly from long range and unstoppable under tension. Those 20-foot birdies that seal tournaments aren't luck, they're muscle memory. Add in her perfectly tuned Srixon irons, and you get a player who can stick the green even when she's not launching the longest drives. But her real advantage isn't the gear, it's her mindset. The calm she built during those intense Japanese seasons has made her unshakable when the pressure peaks. With Japan preparing to host her next event, all eyes will be locked on her performance. The stakes? Massive. Following that, 2 more showdowns remain: the Annika Classic and the CME Group Tour Championship in Naples, Florida, home to the richest prize in women's golf, $4 million for first place. And yes, Miyu is right in the mix for that too. Even bigger than the money is what's at stake for her legacy. She's now a genuine contender for Player of the Year, trailing only world number 1 and Athaya Thitikul. One more victory, especially if it's at the CME Championship, could flip that entire race on its head. Imagine it, a rookie taking home the sport's highest individual honor. It would go down as one of the most dominant debut seasons the LPGA has ever seen. And beyond trophies, her influence is spreading fast. Global brands are lining up to work with her. She's already partnered with Srixon and has built a loyal fan base online, where she shares glimpses of her life off the fairway, laughing with her sister Ran, another rising golfer, or celebrating big finishes with ice cream and ramen. That down-to-earth charm has made her more than a champion. It's made her someone fans genuinely root for.
This has been a goal of mine, something I've worked towards for my whole life. A dream, as you could say, and it's been a result of hard work every single day, making the changes, making the improvements, and to be able to do it now and call myself champion is a very special feeling.
What makes Miyu stand out most is how authentic she remains. She's not trying to act like a corporate brand or play a scripted image. She's simply herself, a 24-year-old who loves golf, loves food, and just happens to be world-class at both. But with her success comes a new kind of challenge. Every event now carries the weight of expectation. Can she do it again? Can she handle being the one everyone's chasing instead of the underdog? And what happens when rivals start designing their game plans specifically around stopping her? Those are fair questions, but if history's any clue, betting against Miyu Yamashita is never a smart move. Her rise is more than a personal victory. It's reshaping golf itself. It proves that talent doesn't come from one country or one tour. The world wrote off Japan's circuit for too long, but Miyu's dominance there translated perfectly to the global stage. The supposed gap between Japan's tour and the LPGA, turns out, it was never as wide as the critics claimed. Her success also shatters another long-standing myth that size and power define greatness. Standing at just 4'11", she's beaten competitors with far more reach and strength. She's shown that skill, strategy, composure, and clutch putting can outshine raw power any day. But more than anything, Miyu represents the future of women's golf, a generation of diverse stars with their own styles and stories, proving that greatness doesn't fit a single mold. The LPGA is stronger, more exciting, and more global because of players like her. At its heart, her story is about refusing to accept limits. They told her she was too short. They dismissed Japan's tour as second tier. They said she'd need years to adjust. Instead, she stormed into the LPGA and won a major, pulling off one of the most stunning rookie performances ever recorded. And the wildest part? She's only just begun. This isn't the peak, it's the starting point. With more than a decade of elite golf ahead, the possibilities stretch as far as her imagination. Could she become Japan's first world number 1? Easily. Multiple majors? Almost inevitable. Could she dominate the LPGA just like she ruled Japan? Every sign says yes. The golf world made the mistake of overlooking Miyu Yamashita once. They won't do it again, because the 4'11" giant killer is just getting warmed up, and she's coming for everything they said she couldn't have.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank the staff for putting in such amazing condition. And the key thing for me this week was just not going in the fairway bunkers. Felt like I hit quite a lot of fairways, and that was one of the things coming into this week that I was really focused on and helping get the victory.
Everyone knows the story of the 4'11" giant killer, but there's a whole layer beneath the headlines that nobody's shining a light on yet, and it might be the part that defines her legacy long after this season ends. First, while people obsess over her height, the real story is in her performance data. Her putting averages this season are elite, right up there with the longest hitters on tour. She's turned the short game into her superpower, flipping the word undersized into undeniably effective. Her greens and regulation stats may not look flashy next to players who bomb 300-yard drives, but she hits more greens than many of them and then converts those chances. Second, her caddy and inner circle. Almost nobody talks about them, but they're a huge part of her success. She's built a team designed for pressure, steady, disciplined, emotionally grounded. When a major championship turns into a psychological war zone, she's not battling alone. That support system is the difference between a talented rookie and a player who knows exactly how to finish the job. Third, what her rise exposes about international golf. Her run in Japan wasn't a warm-up, it was a warning. It destroys the myth that Japan's tour is some minor league and shows it's a legitimate proving ground, producing world-class champions. Her success forces Western golf to face a truth it's been avoiding. The world's best doesn't come from one tour or one country. Fourth, the challenge no one is talking about yet. She's no longer the underestimated newcomer. That advantage is gone. From this moment forward, every player on tour will be studying her swings, breaking down her strategy, and building game plans specifically designed to stop her. How she adapts to being the hunted instead of the hunter will shape the next chapter of her career. Fifth, the business shift she's creating. She isn't just changing scoreboards, she's changing marketing. Brands are lining up not because of her power, but because of her precision, poise, and personality. She's pushing the sport away from its old obsession with power and towards something fans relate to more: intelligence, control, and mental toughness. And then there's the question almost nobody dares to ask yet. Has the golf world underestimated her again? They ignored her in Japan. They dismissed her size. They assumed she'd take years to adjust to the LPGA. She proved them wrong every time. So maybe the real story isn't about how she shocked the world, it's about how she's about to reshape it. Because when a 4'11" player becomes the face of a sport built on power, that's not just surprising, that's the game evolving right in front of us.
It was a really tough 3 and 4 days, but I just focused on every shot and just focused on what I could do and what I was in control of, and so happy that came out with the victory.
Yeah, you mentioned how tough it was. Royal Porthcawl is not an easy golf course.
If this story lit a spark in you, it's because Miyu Yamashita's rise is more than a tale of victories. It's a declaration of what's possible when you stop letting others define your limits. In a sport built on power and precision, she's proving that greatness isn't about distance. It's about discipline, focus, and heart. Every time she steps onto a course, she's challenging an entire industry's idea of what a champion should look like. She's not the tallest, not the loudest, but every swing tells the same story. Control the moment, and you control the outcome. This rookie season wasn't supposed to go this way. They called her too small, too quiet, too early. They saw her success in Japan and called it luck. But Miyu never needed validation. She needed opportunity. And when that opportunity came, she didn't just take it, she owned it. 2 wins, 1 major, millions in prize money, and the respect of the entire golf world. Those numbers tell a story of domination, but what they don't show is the resilience behind it. The years of being overlooked, underestimated, and dismissed. She turned every doubt into fuel, and every round into proof that belief is stronger than expectation. But now the real test begins. This isn't the underdog chapter anymore. This is the era of expectation. Every eye is on her. Every swing is analyzed. Every leaderboard has her name circled in red. Can she handle the pressure of being the hunted, not the hunter? History says yes, because while others crumble under the weight of success, Miyu seems to grow stronger. Pressure doesn't crush her, it sharpens her focus. It's what makes her dangerous. Beyond the fairways, her impact runs deeper. She's redefining what golf's next generation looks like. Diverse, fearless, unapologetically unique. Young players from Tokyo to Toronto are watching her prove that size doesn't measure skill, and that tradition doesn't limit progress. Her presence is forcing sponsors, commentators, and even fans to rethink how they see women's golf. She's not here to fit into the system. She's here to evolve it, and for those who say her story has peaked, look closer. Every legend starts with a single defining season, but true icons build empires after it. What Miyu has shown us so far is only the foundation. The real legacy begins now, with every drive, every putt, every time she steps up to the tee and reminds the world that doubt is her favorite opponent. So if her journey inspired you, don't just watch from the sidelines. Stay with it. Subscribe, share, and drop your thoughts below, because we're witnessing the birth of something rare, a champion who plays with both precision and purpose. The kind of player who doesn't just win tournaments but rewrites history while doing it. The golf world ignored her once. They won't make that mistake again. The 4'11" powerhouse has already changed how the game looks, feels, and sounds. And as her story continues, one thing's certain, the giant killer isn't done. She's just stepping into her prime. And from this moment forward, golf will never ever be the same again.